everyone, and Damon here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhbl.com for short. And as they made what into a movie? It is the Super Mario Brothers movie, the 2023 one. Yes, we are now going to talk about it, give you our thoughts, run down a little bit of plot detail, things we liked and things we didn't like. It's no secret that the review for this is already up on the site. I wrote it. You can find my thoughts there.
I read it, man.
Yeah?
I've read it.
You've read it, yep. You'll find my criticisms in there. You'll find the things I liked. And we're going to talk about some of that right now. Of course, this is the American computer animated adventure film based on Nintendo's Mario video game franchise. Important that, because unlike normally when we do these, we're looking at an adaptation.
Yep.
This isn't really an adaptation of a game.
No.
This is more of an adaptation of the universe.
Yeah.
And the starting point of a franchise, a future franchise. It doesn't really cover any specific game, which is actually turns out I think was the smarter decision overall.
Yep.
Because we always had this thing, how the hell do you adapt Mario? We've seen two examples of it. A live action one, of course, the famous live action one. And the more recent one we watched, the 1986 OVA, Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, which was an intriguing thing.
Just a bit, yeah.
Just a bit. This film is produced by Universal Pictures, Illumination and Nintendo, of course. Directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelniak and written by Matthew Fogel. Released April 5th, 2023. And I thought this was interesting. Did you know that this really hasn't had great reviews overall? Reviews are bear in mind here. It's been quite polarising with critics and stuff like that. Mixed reviews here and there, which is what I would call mine. I would call my review a mixed review.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Most things get bad reviews nowadays. It's down to the public, really.
I don't agree with most things get bad reviews. I think it's simply that, but also I am in the mind that it's an opinion. It's one person's opinion, and so on. And you know what?
Billions, man.
Doesn't fucking matter exactly. Nope. Doesn't matter because this film has made a ton of money. A stupid amount of money. That's why I keep using the term it's the start of a franchise.
Yeah.
As of the time recording, it has grossed under 1.266 billion worldwide, setting multiple box office records, including the biggest worldwide opening weekend for an animated film and the highest grossing film based on a video game. Yes, it has destroyed anything Sonic put. It has also become the highest grossing film of 2023 and the fourth highest grossing animated film. That is all the more impressive. You consider the giants of animated movies. Yeah. Disney and DreamWorks have owned that for a while, so for this to get in and become the fourth is extremely impressive.
I think I also did, because when we done a tier list, I'm pretty sure Mario and Sonic was our
it's Mario. It's Mario.
Yeah.
And the trailers and all that, it was clearly geared towards a younger audience to a degree. I think there's stuff here adults can enjoy, but I would still call this a children's movie.
Yes.
I would 100% call that a children's movie. It was released, at least in this country, during a half-term period, so there was more than enough chance for families to get it. There's a reason why we haven't talked about this beforehand. I think I should throw this in right now. It's simply by the fact it's a personal thing. I can't stand the idea of cinemas. I kind of don't like the experience of most cinemas. And the idea of going during a half-term period to watch this movie with what I often perceive as majority obnoxious behaviour from people in cinemas these days, and the idea of doing that with lots of kids, and I would have had a heart attack. I'd have had heart palpitations.
Yeah.
So I didn't see this until time recording last week, when it was almost out of the cinema. It was a random showing during the day, so when kids were at school, and there was 3 other people in there, and it was awesome. That was awesome. That's my jam. Just basically, I need an empty cinema. So I did eventually see it, thankfully, and obviously you've already seen it as well. In fact, you've seen it 3 times, right?
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah.
He's one of them, absolutely. So let's just run down the voice cast. We'll talk a bit about them later on, but for now, let's just mention who's playing who. You kind of know it. Obviously, hugely debatable and controversial at the time. Chris Pratt as Mario. Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black as Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I'm laughing already. Yep. Not because I find it funny, but we'll get to it.
Yep.
Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. And last I'm going to mention is Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. Because that is the major player. Obviously, lots of other people doing voices. The only one I think that's worth mentioning, because that's a cool fact more than anything else, but Charles Martinet, who voices Mario and Luigi in the Mario games, voices the brothers' father, and Giuseppe, a Brooklyn citizen, who resembles Mario's original appearance in Donkey Kong and speaks in his in-game voice. You know that character at the start and stuff like that. Just thought it was a nice touch to give that guy the role. You know, I don't think there's no point. I don't want to debate whether or not he should have voiced Mario. Mario should have sounded like an Italian American. I don't want to get into any of that. I don't care enough, and I think the movie did a good job of explaining in a funny way, because it starts obviously with them having those accents in that advert, and then it kind of like they discuss that aspect.
I have, I planned like a 10-minute rant about this film.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't, but obviously I don't know if I should do it now or after, because I want to go through basically a lot of basics, because there's.
Well, we don't need 10 minutes. Break each part down. Which part you want to talk about? You're talking about voice acting specifically, because we'll get to that a bit later, I think.
So obviously I've got voice acting. I've got characters I like and dislike.
All right, we'll do that as we go through, and anything we don't touch, we'll pick up at the end. So, I think this film starts brilliantly. A very cool introduction to Bowser. And I don't want to be like this guy, but this is my first criticism. The trailer spoiled most of this.
Yes.
Most of it. You know, the snowballs hitting Bowser, and they're all really small. The penguins, it's funny. Until you realise you saw it in the trailer. Now, alright, you could argue this obviously there's more going on here and so on. But the trailer spoiled most of this. And it's like, so, it's a cool introduction, but like, I've already seen it.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like, the first 5 minutes is like the entire trailer.
Yeah. We then meet brothers Mario and Luigi, and they've just started a plumbing business in Brooklyn. Yes, this advert is one of my favourite things in the movie, because it always got so many fun hints, including the theme of the original Super Mario. Swing! That thing. Love that. Absolutely loved it. They started a plumbing business in Brooklyn, and just about everybody, including their family, think they fell. I do not get Spike. No. I feel like that's just your bog standard character who tells you you're going to fail. But they have the same thing from their father.
Yeah.
Why is Spike there? He's in like 2 scenes where he laughs at them in the restaurant, and then at the end he's all like, "Yay, Super Mario Bros." And that. It's like, why are you in this? In this?
No idea. I suppose it's like former boss. It's not about being a former boss, I think, because it's not.
He is their former boss. Yeah. That's it. But like, it's not like he plays an important role. He's not even a villain or anything like that. But he ended up going to a job. The van, that kind of did throw me back to the Mario movie, the live action one, which breaks down, and he ended up doing a great platforming section to get there, which is fun, particularly the opening of doors like Luigi. I felt very familiar with Luigi's Mansion, and Mario being a much more jumpy guy, as it were. And they end up going to this leak they've got to fix, and it becomes chaos, thanks to a dog. Very animated, very over the top, very silly. Yeah. But I thought it was amusing.
Definitely.
There are parts in this, because we will say now, I suppose, talk about it. I think this film looks lovely.
Yeah, it's colourful, it's beautiful, yeah.
I think it looks lovely. I think one of the best things they did was to not try to make anyone look human.
Yes.
It's none of this weird pre-Sonic stuff.
Nope.
It's really, really, really strong animation that looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And I think it really helps it. But it does allow for some very expressive faces. And like the bit where the shower's filling up, and they realise the dog is just swimming to get over the top of it, and the dog's narrowing eyes, that shit made me laugh.
Yeah, it's clever, yeah.
But they end up wrecking this bathroom. They absolutely wreck it. And they're obviously very disheartened about this later on that night at home. Did you get the Super Mario Brothers Rescue Princess Peach, Mission to Rescue Princess Peach reference here? Call it fate. I would never have got this had we not done this movie so close to seeing this. But Mario sitting on his bed playing a video game, and the angle is the literal opening shot of that animated movie. And I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember, that's when Peach appears on the TV and comes out of it in the OVA from 1986. And it's done in the same thing. I was really, really impressed. But Mario ends up seeing a news item about a major water leak downtown, and figures like, we go and fix that and we will be famous. This will how we will get noticed, and people will be like, oh my god, the Mario Brothers, and so on. However, going underground, there are attempts to fix it go wrong and end up deep deep in the sewers and the underground area. I like this. I like how it looks and so on.
Pipe ball. I instantly thought of like pipe ball, man. You know?
Well, that's what they're playing around.
Yeah.
Because deep down there, they find a warp pipe and are sucked into it, being separated. I like the build to this as well, where Luigi kind of disappears and Mario finds his wrench, and then that's how he gets sucked in. It's like, okay, don't really need an explanation or don't have one for how it's there or why it's there, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is spectacular as they're getting taken through the pipes, and we kind of sort of see how it works, and like it's a travel system, which of course it is from the game.
Yeah.
But you know, you kind of see through it and so on. But what I don't understand, why do they get separated? So they get separated, Mario and Luigi, but I can't see any sense or reason as to why they get separated beyond we just need them to in the movies, so we'll have them separated.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're both obviously holding each other's hands, telling you.
But they're going in the same pipe. Like it's not like it branches off, right?
And for some reason, like Luigi gets sucked
into a different one. I couldn't really follow how that happens.
No.
But we needed to separate them for Luigi to end up in the Dark Lands, which is the lands ruled by Bowser. There's a lovely Luigi's Mansion reference here with the trees.
Proper, trees, the torch.
There's a lot of fun stuff here.
Mario?
He then gets attacked by skeleton creatures. Nice little horror section. Fun still.
Yeah.
And he ends up at Bowser's castle where he does get captured.
The Shy Guys.
Yes, the Shy Guys. Indeed as well. We should reveal now Bowser's motivation is that he wants to marry Peach. Now look, my wife rolled her eyes at that, but I said to her, bear in mind she's not a gamer.
Yeah.
And I said to her, that's literally the story.
It's been the story
from day one.
Yep.
It is always that. He is in love with Peach, wants to marry. Sometimes they turn it around and up it and change with Bowser Jr. and elements like that. But that is the overarching story. So of course that was going to be the case here.
Of course.
I really like this because it shows a lighter side to Bowser. It's fun. It allows Jack Black to have a little bit more fun in the voice. Particularly as the overarching plot point is I'm going to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom if she doesn't agree to marry me, and I've got a superstar to do it. And it's like, well, yeah, that isn't much to go on. It's not much of a story. So, yeah, you know, at least we have an element to it. I like the idea of using a superstar as it.
Yep.
I was a bit like, isn't that temporary, though?
Yeah, it's temporary.
You know? But I think that's the video game part of me going, where it's like, that's not necessarily the case in this world.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more permanent. He imprisons Luigi to threaten Mario, who he obviously sees as competition for Peach's love. Problem again here, the torture scene had been done in the trailer.
Yeah.
You had seen it before.
Putting his stand,
so there's nothing really there. Whereas Mario ends up in a Mushroom Kingdom and meets Toad, who takes him to the castle of Princess Peach. Here I'm going to criticise the movie again. I think this is where right, so I do think overall the story's quite lazy.
Yep.
But I'm not too hard on that because I get they couldn't really do much with it. But this is the laziest part for me. Hello, I'm Mario, you're Toad, I'm in this weird world, come with me to Princess Peach. Alright, cool, off we go. It takes 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
It's like, wait, what? Mario, seemingly amazed, takes it all a little bit too in his stride. Toad, not knowing who the fuck Mario is, if only know he could be a Bowser villain, it's just like, hey, come along.
Yep.
And it's all a bit too quick and easy for my liking.
What did you think of the voice of Toad?
We're doing voices afterwards.
Okay, yeah,
We're doing voices afterwards. We're going to go through each particular voice actor.
Yep, cool.
Because I think it's such an important aspect of talking about this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, he meets his Peach. Mario is immediately in love with her to a degree. It's not egregious here. It's not kind of over the top. And he is portrayed as a little bit of like a fish out of water character.
Yep.
And let's talk about Peach here specifically. And I think they did the right thing here, which is Peach is not the damsel in distress.
Yes.
They haven't gone over the top with the whole she's an ass kicker. But she's not needing protection. She's part of the battle against Bowser rather than being the victim of Bowser. I like that.
Yep. Quickly go back to the animation. What did you think of the castle?
It looked nice.
Yeah,
it looked nice. I don't really have much to say about it.
64 castle.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of
yeah.
course you've got the stained glass window and elements like that. But to be honest, there's a lot going on here. You're moving through this village and town.
Yeah.
Your eyes are like.
Looking at everything.
It's almost like you got to take it slower to really enjoy it because there's a lot of stuff in the background. There's a lot to take in. I think maybe I just kind of glossed over it.
But yeah, I mean, as for Peach, as you're saying, I mean, she's powerful, but she's also that sort of vulnerability to her.
Don't know. I don't know if I get that. I don't think they have enough time to do too much with her because it's like, oh, she plans to go to speak to the Kongs and ask them to help her fight Bowser. basically. And Mario wants to go with her, but she's like, nah, man, you're a bit useless and all that. So we get kind of like a level where she's like, right, well, if you complete this level, then maybe you all can come with me. She shows how easy it is. She does it very simply, using some skills you recognise from the games where you can play as her. Yeah, she does it very easily, and then we get kind of a montage of Mario failing over and over again. I think it goes on too long. I feel like this bit's a bit too long for my liking.
Yeah, it seems like I've gone for like a whole night and day. So it's like
I mean, no, in the context of the world, I'm okay with that. I mean, from our perspective, it's a couple of minutes, and I feel like that's just a bit too long. Particularly as we all know where it's going. Mario eventually does complete it. La 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 la. Well, he doesn't actually finish it in the end. He looks like he's going to, but he fails at the last minute. There are some funny bits. Obviously, plenty of references and things like that, particularly in the setup. It's more fan service than anything else, but it does result in Peach saying, "All right, come along." Yeah, Toad's like, "Yeah, I'm coming along as well," and she doesn't put him through the level. He's just allowed to come. Yeah. I don't know. So then there's the Jungle Kingdom section where we meet the Kongs, where we've got King Cranky Kong. Right, we are always going to have a different perspective on this now. Bear in mind, when we do this, we have just come off the back of finishing a 40-episode run talk-through of the Donkey Kong Country TV series.
This was my problem too.
This is a problem, but it's our problem. E.g., it's not a comparative where I think the show was better. We've criticised it heavily throughout and so on. But it's created an image in my head now that I struggle to get past here. And the idea of Cranky Kong being king, when he spoke, I was like, that's not my Cranky.
I know we're doing voices at the end, but he's too... He sounds like...
No, you're doing it. We're going to do that. And that was a real struggle for me. But I realised quickly that it was my problem. Because I was like, no, I don't mind the idea of it. I also don't mind the idea that he's got his son, Donkey Kong is his son. I don't mind. No, but I don't mind it. If you separate that... Of
course, yeah.
I don't mind. It makes sense. King Cranky with his son Donkey Kong. That makes so much sense.
It does make sense.
It's simple.
Yeah, and probably if we hadn't watched...
Donkey Kong Country wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't have a problem, 100%. So Mario has to defeat Donkey Kong in a fight, then the Kongs will join. Peach is arguing about how, Bowser will come for you next. It's a classic thing where it's like, oh, we're not getting involved because it's not our problem. It's like, well, it will be a problem in the future and all that aspect like that. The whole defeat Donkey Kong in a fight is a bit silly. But fine, it's for entertainment. And actually, I think their fight is probably one of the best parts of the movie.
So obviously it brings back the reference to the original game.
There's lots of fun stuff here.
Yes.
I laughed. They do many moments here where they do a shot, right, in the whole film. They do a shot where you think it's something and then they'll cut to another thing. It happened with Bowser when the snow was a star. And here you get Mario taking a mushroom. And I saw the colour mushroom. My wife didn't have a clue. She actually laughed at this point, but obviously it's the small one.
Yeah, the blue one.
It's the blue one and turns Mario small, and that's quite funny. But he does eventually able to beat him by using a catsuit. And for me, that was a real smile-a-deuce. Again, using my wife here, she thought it was stupid. I thought it was cool because she's not familiar with the catsuit in Mario, whereas I am. The games that appeared in... No. It's one of the... It's part of Super Mario Brothers... It was on the Wii U originally, and they re-released it on the Switch with Bowser's Fury, and I love those games. I think they're some of the best Mario games I've played.
Yeah, see, for me, I wasn't familiar with it, but my children were like, oh, it's from this game. I was like, well, I've not played that game. My last game was Sunshine.
Yeah. So there you go. You're very, very much behind. But he's able to defeat Donkey Kong with that. And then we get what I thought when we saw the trailer. I thought, how are they going to make carts work in this? I stand by it. I stand by what I said. I don't think it works. I feel like it's shoehorned in. I feel like it's just unnecessary and doesn't really amount to too much in the way of interesting. As they use carts, because, and the problem is that sometimes there's a few video game references that I don't particularly like. I think they go over the top here with the cart building. So basically, that's how, the 3 select screens, that's literally how it's done in the latest Mario Karts. The one I played, Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. And it's like, do I really need to see that? It just feels a bit silly. And they're like, well, Cranky Kong could build car. Like, it's all a bit weird.
Yeah, it seems like they were pushing, trying to throw too much game reference into it.
I just don't know why we need Mario Kart in this. Even though it is spectacular as they drive on Rainbow Road, but Bowser's found out of what's going on and he ambushes them. And we do get a bit of a fight scene here between carts being knocked off things and so on. But Koopa General goes suicidal. Transforms himself into a blue shell. He is a blue shelled one.
Yeah.
And basically destroys part of the road in a kamikaze attack. And Mario and Donkey Kong fall into the oceans. The other Kongs are captured. And it looks like it's all over for the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yep.
I just don't think it was that spectacular to look at. But I just didn't care for it.
I like parts of it, but I like the references, obviously, like the blue shell, the bananas, and the obviously Mario Kart and throwing the turtles. That I liked, but yeah, it was just over the top.
Some of the stuff just doesn't work for me. The whole Toad coming out in a massive car didn't work for me. Ha ha ha, small guy has a big car.
Yeah, it's
Donkey Kong and Mario having this weird rivalry that they've barely built up and are now going to resolve in a moment quite quickly. It just all feels a bit rushed. This feels like stuff you do over several movies instead of one. I guess they were very worried that, like, we need this to be successful, otherwise we'll never be able to do this again. So we're going to do everything. Peach and Toad return to the Mushroom Kingdom and urges citizens to evacuate. Panic, 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 panic. As Bowser arrives aboard his flying castle, I gotta say, we're talking about that, it just looks amazing, doesn't it? It really does. And proposes to Peach. She does reluctantly agree after Bowser's minion Kamek tortures Toad. So, like, you know, he does get his way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mario and Donkey Kong have been eaten by an eel-like moray and share a moment as they both just want respect from their father. Doesn't work for me.
Nope.
Mario's father was in one scene at the start of the movie, so other than not being dismissive of his son's new business, it's not enough of it. And Cranky and Donkey Kong, I never really got that either. I know Donkey Kong during the fight is all like, "Dad, look at me, wave," you know.
But obviously, to be disapproved by your father, you expect it to be built up over time.
I feel like it needs more. Yeah, it needs more. It does. And they end up escaping the moray by riding a rocket from Donkey Kong's cart and hurry to the wedding. It's like, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
It was really easy. Like, oh, there wasn't really much threat there at all. I thought they were going to have to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At the wedding reception, love Bowser's outfit.
Yeah,
that is a beautiful, beautiful reference. Is it Odyssey? Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey, yeah. And Bowser, though, in a really twisted point, reveals that he's going to execute all the prisoners. The Kongs and Luigi were in cages above lava in Peach's honour. It's like, okay. Should we use this opportunity to talk about the star of the film? And it's the little creature. I don't know what it is.
The crazy blue guy.
Yeah. So they've got this. I can't remember what he is, but he's basically. He's gone insane.
Yeah.
He's insane where he just wants to be wants to die, but he sees it in a positive way, and like the Kong's reacting to him as well. Like, oh, the shut up is hilarious.
Funny,
He only pops up about 4 or 5 times in it.
It's funny, yeah.
But each time he is quite funny. Oh, the sweet release of death.
Yep.
Yeah, it is dark, but it is funny.
Did you have to notice, obviously, the wedding in the audience? The 64 boss, the big bomb.
King Baboom. Babom. There's lots of... Honestly, you could you would need several playthroughs, watch-throughs to really pick up on everything, you know? Not just Mario references, but references to other Nintendo properties as well. But Toad is smuggled in an ice flower in Peach's bouquet, and she uses that to freeze Bowser. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. I like that she fights Bowser off before Mario rescues her.
Yes.
I thought that was really important to show the distinction between the two. As Mario and Donkey Kong arrive, free the prisoners, and Mario using a Tanuki suit to save Luigi. What we used to call the raccoon suit back in the day.
Or a leaf.
Yeah, the leaf. Yeah, it's a leaf, isn't it? Wait, is it? No, the Tanuki suit and leaf are different. That is different. Yeah. The leaf gives you the tail and the ears.
Yeah.
And the Tanuki suit was the brown one that you put over you.
You turn the stone, couldn't you? Press that,
That's right, you turn the stone, exactly that. Bowser obviously is enraged, frees himself, and summons a bomber-bill, one of the big ones, to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. That is an amazing scene.
It is an amazing scene, yes.
It is an amazing scene. I don't quite know why it decides to follow Mario, though. Because Mario's trying to stop her for ages.
I know, because he flicks his eye, and then he gets
angry at Mario. Like, he goes up and flicks his eye, and it's enough to have the bomber Bill follow Mario follow them all the way to a warp pipe where it goes inside and detonates, creating a vacuum that causes everyone and Bowser's castle to be transported to Brooklyn. This is all very confusing as to why this happens.
Yeah.
But you know what? I said to my wife, this has to be a reference to the... Like, we're really doing the end of the movie in Brooklyn? Like the end of the live action one?
I
was like, okay, alright. And in Brooklyn, the Brooklynites, if you want to call them that, the New Yorkers, seem to take what just happens in quite a stride. It doesn't seem to cause as much destruction as well as I would have thought it was, the appearance of Bowser's Kingdom. And as they fight Bowser, Mario and Luigi end up grabbing the superstar, become invincible, beat up Bowser for a bit. He's then shrunk with a mini mushroom and imprisoned in a jar. Mario and Luigi are hailed as heroes, praised by Brooklyn's population, including their parents and Spike. So I'm talking about Spike. Who the fuck Spike?
The Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, who the fuck Spike? And afterwards, see the brothers waking up in a house, going about their plumbing business, but they reveal that they've moved to the Mushroom Kingdom. And they're basically the plumbers of that, which I thought was a cool way of ending it.
Yep.
Like, here's the thing. There's no sequel bait here.
Nope.
There is surprisingly no sequel bait. It's just, here's the movie, but we've certainly left an open door for world building.
Did you do what I always make the mistake of?
Oh yeah, of course I did.
Did you wait to the end? Yeah? Okay, cool.
And there is a credit scene, but it's not a sequel bait, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, obviously, normally I make a mistake. But
Yeah,
for once,
no, with this, it's the norm now, isn't it? Yes, that is the Super Mario Brothers movie. A lot of reasons to be enjoyed, a lot of reasons to be critiqued. Some more obvious than others. I think we talked about some of them. We're certainly going to go a bit more in depth on them now. But I personally, I think it's hard to be too harsh in this film. I think this is a good movie. It's because it's energetic, it is fast, it's frantic, it isn't fucking around. It's no frills to a certain degree, but I would also say it's got a lot of passion about the source material. I felt like I was watching a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah. I'm not gonna sit down and criticize because I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I did enjoy it, yeah. It's a fun film that all ages can enjoy at its core. At its core. For me, it captures the bright, brassy and eccentric world of the franchise where you generally don't know what's around the corner, and we have moments where we see things in the background. Did you see that? I mean, you would have seen it, but the wild Yoshis running around in the background and stuff like that. Illumination, the art company, did an incredible job of making this movie pop. It really, really does look amazing.
And it's just like the silly one-liners there. Before Mario enters the Mushroom Kingdom, the two mushrooms at the door. Oh, but sorry, but our princess is in another castle.
Yeah, it's all referenced like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, some are more egregious than others, some less so. But for me, sticking with the animation, even at its busiest, I think there's so much delightfulness to enjoy on the screen. We talked about the facial expressions of the characters and how they avoid any attempt to make them look less animated, which I think is silly. People might think it's silly. Oh, well, it's Mario. What did you expect? It's like, no, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Look what they've done elsewhere.
Exactly, yeah.
It is an impressive-looking movie. But I think with that, that's where things are... That's impressive, but that's where they've decided to leave other things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the most important aspect of this film. It's story. It's story. And there is one. It's a basic one. It's a Mario story. And I think this movie serves as more of an introduction to the franchise players that will be going forward. But there are just way too many times where there's a lack of depth to make this work. Now, here's the thing: I don't think the story needed to be anything groundbreaking. I don't think it needed lots. I don't think it needed to be a 3-hour movie or anything like that. We didn't need Lord of the Rings here.
No.
But I'm surprised by the lack of effort of doing a better story because of Nintendo's protectiveness of this franchise. I'm surprised that they didn't think, oh, that's a bit basic. There's not really a lot going here. You can't just rush through that section and so on. But maybe they say the problem was they couldn't find another way to tell it.
I can only think, in my opinion, that if they do number 2, which they're going to, 100%, that Bowser's going to escape, he's going to kidnap the princess, and then Mario's got to rescue him from a castle.
I think that
that's what I think is going to go.
I think that'll be more realistic to a certain degree, but I also think you're wrong to a degree. I think they'll be so frightened and so worried about putting Peach, your only female character at the moment in that group, in a position where she has to be rescued by the man. Those days have changed.
Oh, I suppose that in the period we're on now in the world too, I suppose,
It doesn't work, but it's also not necessary. It's not necessary to do that. There's surely other ways you can do that. You know, why has it got to be her? Why can it not be told?
Or Luigi, maybe?
No, we've done Luigi in this. I'm having Luigi capture again. Luigi have his own fucking thing. I want Luigi to have a Luigi's Mansion film.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I do not want Luigi just being... Because for me, Luigi is wasted in this movie.
I do agree. I think they make him out to be pathetic in this film.
I wouldn't go that far.
I know Luigi has always been the coward one, or the quiet one, the scared one, but they make him out apart from right at the end, where he suddenly becomes obviously he touches the star.
Yeah, superstar, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, apart from obviously where he saved Mario's life with the drain thing from the fire.
Yeah.
You know, he really
Drain cover.
He just doesn't really do much. He's more.
No, I disagree. He's kidnapped. If it had been Mario, he'd have been kidnapped. It's not like the only I beat Bowser because he's a superstar. I think he's wasted because he's not in the movie enough. That's what it is. And I get that because Mario is player one. Mario is the important, so I completely understand that. But I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole what they could do in a sequel because we may be completely wrong. They may never do a sequel. They may no.
No, they won't, man.
No.
If it makes money, don't make it, man.
No.
Look at Sonic.
Oh my god, you just let me speak for fuck's sake. I'm trying to finish this sentence. No. Franchise, Damon. The Mario universe. If you can't come up with a sequel to this, what did you do? You introduced a universe. You now make what? A Donkey Kong Country movie.
Yeah.
You've already introduced the characters. You make a standalone Luigi's Mansion with ghosts and stuff like that. That does work. If you can't follow this up in the same way, if you can't tell a story, there are areas they can go. You now create the world... You build it around it.
Oh yeah. I do agree that there's so much they can do with this.
Oh, don't get me wrong. This is me not saying I do 100% believe we'll get Super Mario Brothers movie part 2.
Yeah.
Of course we will. I'm not saying that, but I don't think it's a put your finger on and 100% say it is, because if you can't come up with it and you spend loads of money, it's not always possible. Lack of effort in the story. That's all I think. But I don't necessarily know how I'd have done it better. I don't know how to have done it better.
It's a very difficult...
It is so difficult.
I mean, Sonic is a bit easier, I think, to make it, but this one here is...
But what they did with Sonic I thought was clever.
Yes, it was clever, yeah.
That's the difference. They did it clever, whereas Mario isn't clever. It's just, alright. And it's just, my problem is that the things they rush through. Here's Donkey Kong and Mario, and their enemies and other friends, because they bond over a thing that didn't really happen.
Yeah, it's too quick.
Here's Mario meeting Toad, 30 seconds later off the Princess Castle. Here's meeting Princess Peach, blah, blah, blah. Okay, instead of spending time with them, kind of getting to know each other and all that. No, we're just going to do this long section of doing a montage of him doing a level. Yeah. Just, I mean, that's the problem. But speaking of lack of effort, let's talk about an aspect that is very important: voice acting.
Yep.
So let's do them. Let's do them as individuals. Chris Pratt.
Okay, I want to start this one now. For me personally, it's not that I don't dislike Chris Pratt. I just think that he's in everything nowadays.
He's in a lot. He's in a lot.
I personally think you could have stuck in a nobody and it still would have had the same effect. I personally think I've got no issues with his voice. Okay, I thought I would, but it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. But there's parts in the movie where it done he's done his Mamma Mia and it slowed it down because I think they've realised that he couldn't flipping do it. So they had to slow it down just to try and make it sound reasonable. That's my personal opinion.
No,
I think they could have got an Italian to do it with an Italian voice. I think it would have been much better. I think it could have been a nobody. You could have saved yourself bloody billions or millions on paying Chris Pratt his wage. For God's sake, But overall, I thought he'd done an okay job.
Okay, I want to lump Charlie Day and Chris Pratt into one for mine, so I'm going to ask you then what you thought of Charlie Day. Do you know who Charlie Day is?
No, I don't know.
Right, okay.
I might know his face, but the voice, I don't know.
What would I think? Well, you've never seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Have you ever seen... What else would he have been in that people might recognise? That movie with the giant robots that fight kaijus. Nope. No. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, what do you think of Luigi's voice then?
I actually quite like Luigi's voice.
Okay. All right. For me, it's simple as this. I'm fine. They don't offend me. They don't bother me. It's just voices, which is the biggest problem though for me. I realised afterwards. I was like, wait a minute. There was nothing notable about either voice. Why the hell were they in this?
Yep.
Why? And it's simply this: marketing. Chris Pratt, he's a big star. It was marketing only. It makes no sense. I could not say. I don't even care about the Italian American thing. I don't care about that. But why it had to be Chris Pratt particularly, it makes no sense to me. because he does nothing of note.
You're saying
It's so bland and boring that it's so unremarkable that I don't even get passionate about it. And it's the same for Charlie Day. And this hurts me a little bit because I am a huge fan of Charlie Day because I watch religiously It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that TV show. So for him to just be so unremarkable and so Charlie Day, it's like, oh, all right, that's it. So for me, I just don't. It could have been anyone.
You said it's about marketing, but it's Mario. It's self. Mario.
No, but you need the star power. Because guess what? You say it's marketing, but Mario doesn't sell itself. Mario sells itself to video game people. How do you get other people to do? And when it comes to press tours and interviews and red carpets, you don't want people snapping pictures of nobodies. You want people snapping pictures of Chris Pratt and Charlie Day. Do you know what I mean? And whether they were lucky or not, this was quickly followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So Chris Pratt was hot. Yep, it is that thing. Overkill, because once someone's popular, and like I said, there's been a bit of a pushback in Chris Pratt over the years from a certain section of the internet. I don't care about that aspect of things. I have no feelings on the man either way.
No.
Anna Taylor-Joy's Princess Peach.
I've got my two favourite characters, my two worst characters.
Right.
So for me, it's Peach and Bowser, and my two.
Well, we're talking about Peach. Don't get off topic one by one.
I think she plays it really well.
Yep.
Yeah, she's one of the highlights, really.
Second favourite voice character for me.
Yep.
Second voice character. I think she gives Peach life.
Yes.
I heard her. I listened to her. I heard whereas Pratt and Day were just talking, I listened to Peach. 100% agree. Really thought second best voice character in it. To the first. Bowser, Jack Black. I heard beforehand that people were impressed with what he does, but all people kept doing was like, oh yeah, he sings a song called Peaches, Peaches. And that was, I hated that a big time. But while I do understand why it's catchy, I think people are doing silliness about that. It's not that fucking good. It's catchy and memorable and stuff like that. But overall, my God. Yeah. I thought he did a brilliant job of being not Jack Black a lot of the time.
Yep.
But when you do hear Jack Black, it works as well. Obviously, when he sings, you can't hear the Jack Black thing. But I thought, my God, if that's what Bowser sounds like.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I said the same thing to my kids. The one thing about Jack Black, every Jack Black movie or songs you see him, he's the funny guy, crazy guy, just with voices. But this was for me a serious Jack Black, a serious voice, and he made Bowser into a feared character. He was feared. He was powerful. And I think he played it brilliant. I mean, mine is the song. The song is catchy. It's in my bloody head. My kids loved it, but
people go over the top about it.
Of course, yeah. But I think he was the perfect Bowser.
Yep, yeah. Generally brilliant. Yep. Easily, everyone is right. Jack Black steals the show. Yep. Absolutely does. He makes he's so listenable. He's so impressive in the voice styles he does, from angry to soft to singing. All the stuff that he literally makes Chris Pratt and Charlie Day look like even worse. I personally think. Yeah. Keegan-Michael Key, as told. Do you know who Keegan-Michael Key is? Comedian. Key and Peele sketch show. Very funny man. Yep. Very clever. Really like his work. Generally unremarkable in this.
Yep.
That's it. Unfortunately, unremarkable.
Yeah.
And to me now, what I consider the worst voice actor of it, absolutely ruined this character for me. And it's not because of a connection to the TV show. It's because of it, simply put, he makes no effort at all. And I've read online that basically he told him, I'm not putting a voice on. You want Seth Rogen in your movie, you're going to get Seth Rogen. And I was just like, you prick. Yeah. But then I no, fuck the companies as well. No, fuck the companies for going, well, we want Seth Rogen, so we'll let you do what you want here. It's just Seth Rogen being Seth Rogen, and I don't like it. It doesn't fit Donkey Kong.
No.
Seth Rogen's voice is, we all know, similar to his characters. Slacker, relaxed, chilled, stone, whatever. That's not Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is animated, over the top, energetic. I don't get it here.
Yep.
Where's the energy? What the hell why was this allowed to pass? I don't even get it, because Seth Rogen, in the press and all that I've seen, I haven't really seen much of Seth Rogen doing that.
Nope.
So why him? Why Seth Rogen?
And if there is future movies, potentially he's going to be our future Donkey Kong going forward. Potentially.
I hope that they realise, and if
The hate, if you can start the hate, I'm hoping they don't.
not hate, I don't want people hating him,
Not haters now.
but just like
I mean,
people sort of saying why him.
yeah, why him?
They might just redo it, but you're probably right. Maybe he won't want to do it or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But my God, when you have me going, the Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong, that's my Donkey Kong, not this Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
You have lost. You've messed up here. Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm straight up honest with that. It's whereas Charlie Day and Chris Pratt are remarkable and uninteresting. This I just flat out was like, oh, that's fucking Seth Rogen. I rolled my eyes so hard in the cinema, I thought I was going blind. You know. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Love it. Think he is brilliant in this.
Really?
Because what I love, so you're getting stuck on this, but you are forgetting how much that voice grated on us in the TV show. That I'm Cranky. So to give Cranky a more normal voice, but to be an older elder man, which Fred Armisen is, and stuff like that, I got it. It gives power to this role. I like it a lot. I'm okay with this because I was like, when I'm like, oh, it's not my Cranky, I'm like, do I really want that Cranky? I don't, Damon. I don't.
The only issue I had with the voice is that I thought he sounded too young.
Okay, I disagree. I thought he sounded like an elder bloke, but not like an old man.
For me, obviously, Cranky's obviously like he's like the 80s.
No, so you're doing the fucking show thing.
That's a problem. Yeah.
And it is from the game as well, but he is an old. Right, so I get what you're saying. Right, he's got a long beard and all that. You think he's too young for that?
Yeah, the voice wise. I wanted a bit more, not Cranky from like. Again, I did say to my kids that I'm referencing too much.
God, we got fucked up by this TV show.
Yeah.
40 episodes of it really screwed us up for us. No, I agree. And then there was Kevin Michael Richards as Kamek. Giving Kamek that role and having a voice that I thought was a good voice was a surprise. So I don't really have too many complaints for the most part. Just the voice acting overall is so up and down.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. Got anything more else to add there?
No, just like I said, like my two favourite characters,
Bowser
and Peach, and my two worst characters were Mario and Luigi. For me, and obviously Mario it should have been the star.
No, I think the worst voices are Mario and Donkey Kong.
Voices wise for me, it was Donkey Kong and Mario.
Right. Okay.
Voices wise, but character wise, I didn't have no attachment to Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, alright, that's an interesting point, and attachment is hard to really get here. I kind of did, though, because I saw them as the video game characters. So I had a lot of attachment to them, because these are my boys, man. This is Mario and Luigi. I've grown up with you. I spent my life playing your games. I was a kid playing the Super Mario Brothers game.
Of course.
And only, literally a month ago, I was playing Super Mario Sunshine on my Switch again. I've been playing Mario my entire fucking life. So to see them on a movie screen, a big screen in an animated style, I was attached to them. I was attached to Donkey Kong and Cranky until I realised these weren't my Donkey Kong and Cranky.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was attached. I think I was. I think that matters, you know? I think it does. And truth be told, I think these criticisms that were touched by me, the voice acting, I don't think most people care, truth be told. Because
they're minor.
Yeah, because at Barrels Forward, there's such vibrant energy. This is the analysis that we do for this show, for this series of videos we do. And I understand that overall, when we criticise things like that, a lot of effort was made elsewhere. We talk about franchise references and attempts to weave in as much Mario as possible. Some are obvious and gleefully obvious. We're like, oh, you know, you're nudging someone, go and check that out. Others are subtle and fun, where you get to do the really nerdy thing more than anything else. In the Brooklyn section, did you notice a reference to, is it Punch Out?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, that's the nerdiest stuff. And then there were the deep cuts. And so we referenced one already. The deep cut of, you would only recognise that shot if you saw Mission to Rescue Princess Peach and so on. I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure someone referenced Cappy. I said there was a Cappy reference in there, and I must have missed that as well. So there's probably loads that I missed that you go back and watch and would really enjoy.
That Mario scene playing the pure. I missed that reference. The only thing I saw was that look, he's playing with the Super Nintendo.
It's the same shot. Yeah. Likewise, though, alongside that, the use of iconic Mario themes. We've got to talk about the music.
Yeah.
The music is incredibly memorable. when they're using the Mario themes and elements like that, and how they weave it into it. So much so that it's subtle and it's nice, and it doesn't become egregiously over the top. I enjoyed that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it was only like every day was like a small bit, and then it wasn't like the entire thing was like a small bit.
Cleverly done.
I really loved the Bowser piano bit, and everything in it is.
There's a reference to the piano, by the way. You see who the piano's made by? Ludwig von Cooper, one of his sons.
I didn't see that.
So it's kind of like, oh, okay.
There you go, so,
All right, so there's something for the future.
Yeah, so it could be a Bowser Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. However, because we are doing this 50-50, while I do love the music and all that, I do not understand the point of shoehorning pop culture songs. I found it disappointing. I found it disappointing to hear songs like Thunderstruck by AC/DC. There was a couple of others. What's the one where...
There's a Ha one, Take On Me with that one.
Take On Me, Aha by Aha and stuff like that. I just don't get why. I do not understand why we needed them. Who's sitting there going, Take On Me? Like, kids aren't going to recognise that. Is that for the adults? But I don't think it fucking matters. Oh, great, we're using Thunderstruck for them building carts. Like, goddamn, it's almost lazy to a certain degree.
It could have done even just like a basic Mario tune.
I just don't see why it was needed. Why not stick with original music? And I feel like this is often in response to things like Sonic.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a free break on that as well, because adapting Mario is such an impossible task that something this coherent and enjoyable is mighty impressive. I don't think people are going to love it. I don't think anyone's going to love it, but I don't think it matters when it's making this much money.
Yeah.
It is the start of a franchise. I liked it. I think most people will like it. I think you liked it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again in the future. I don't really see the point of being too harsh on it. We have our things that we've criticised. That's about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, out of 10, I'll give it a solid 7.
I gave it a 6. I thought about a 7, but there was a few too many problems for to give it a 7. What would you give it? Do you have any thoughts that you want to share? Do you share our criticisms, particularly of the Kongs and Seth Rogen's voice and stuff like that? Or have you got more positive things to say? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?